Emma, a baker, tested recipes in her family's old farmhouse kitchen. At midnight, the house was quiet, but the oven hummed oddly, though off. As she mixed dough, the air grew cold, and the lights flickered. A feminine whisper said her name from the pantry. Emma checked, finding only dusty jars. Her knife was gone, replaced by a rusted one. The oven door creaked open, revealing a red glow, though no heat. The whispers grew, saying, "Bake with me." Emma's heart raced. She blamed old wiring, but a shadow moved behind the oven, small and quick. Flour on the counter formed the word, "Stay." Emma shut the oven, but it opened again, the glow brighter. The whispers became a voice, "Finish it." Her rolling pin moved, flattening dough she hadn't made. A recipe book flipped to "Eternal Bread," written in faded ink. A woman's figure appeared by the oven, her dress old, face hidden. Emma's phone died, and the lights dimmed, the oven's glow casting her shadow on the walls. The voice said, "You're part of it." The dough rose impossibly fast, pulsing like a heartbeat. Emma backed away, but the pantry door swung open, jars falling, forming a face in the shards. The woman's eyes glowed, staring at her. Emma tried to leave, but the kitchen door was locked, the handle ice-cold. The woman's form grew solid, her face half-burned, stirring a bowl that wasn't there. The whispers chanted, "Bake forever." The dough formed a face, screaming silently, and the oven roared, flames licking out. Emma grabbed a flashlight, its beam making the woman flicker, but she moved closer, her hands reaching. Shadows of other figures appeared, their faces in the dough, watching Emma. The stove roared, and the air grew thick, pulling her toward the oven. She swung the flashlight, the light burning the woman's form, but the dough pulsed faster. The kitchen warped, the counters stretching, the door receding. The woman's laughter filled the air, and the shadows closed in, their touches freezing. Emma's flashlight dimmed, and the oven's flames formed a figure, mimicking the woman's movements. The dough spilled, forming a pool that trapped her feet. The woman whispered, "Serve it," and the shadows chanted, their hands guiding hers to the oven. Emma fought, swinging the flashlight, but the air grew thick, pulling her toward the flames. The oven's glow formed a door, and the shadows' faces twisted, their voices roaring her name. Emma ran to the pantry, but the door slammed shut, locking her in. The whispers echoed, "Bake forever." Shelves rattled, jars falling, forming a face on the floor. The woman's figure appeared through the door's window, her eyes glowing brighter. Emma's flashlight flickered, revealing old recipes, listing "Grief Cake," dated 1943. The air grew colder, and the woman's voice said, "You belong here." The pantry walls pulsed, closing in, and the jars levitated, circling her. Emma screamed, banging on the door, but it burned her hands, the lock melting under her touch. The pantry door burst open, and Emma stumbled back to the kitchen, the woman waiting by the oven. Her form flickered, revealing a charred face, and she spoke. She died in a kitchen fire in 1943, her spirit trapped, hungry for company. The dough pulsed, faces screaming, and the shadows grew, their hands clawing. Emma saw flashes of the fire, flames engulfing the woman, her screams echoing. The air grew suffocating, and the woman's hand gripped her wrist, burning cold. The oven's flames formed a door, pulling her toward it, the shadows chanting her name. The kitchen looped, the oven reappearing wherever Emma ran. The woman's form grew larger, her eyes black voids, growling, "You're ours." The counters pulsed, knives levitating, and the shadows merged into a writhing mass. Emma's flashlight dimmed, and the dough spilled, forming a pool that trapped her feet. She saw flashes of other bakers, all trapped, their faces in the dough. The air grew thick, smelling of ash, and the woman's laughter echoed, her form flickering between the oven and the door. Emma fought, swinging the flashlight, but the mass closed in, their hands freezing her skin. The oven's flames erupted, forming a wall that blocked the exit. The woman's form towered, her knife-like rolling pin swinging, grazing Emma's arm, leaving a cold burn. The shadows chanted, "Bake forever," their faces twisting into grotesque masks. Emma's vision blurred, her body heavy, as the kitchen seemed to breathe, its walls pulsing. She threw a pan, which passed through the woman, but her flashlight's beam burned her form, making her shriek. The dough pool grew, pulling her down, and the shadows climbed the walls, their hands reaching from above. Emma screamed, fighting to stay upright, the flames closing in. Emma yanked free, grabbing a fire extinguisher from the wall. She sprayed it, the foam disrupting the woman's form, scattering the shadows. The flames faltered, and the dough pool receded, the faces fading. Emma swung her flashlight, its light burning the woman's form, making her scream louder. The kitchen groaned, the counters shaking as if in pain. She ran for the door, the extinguisher's foam keeping the shadows at bay. The woman's form flickered violently, her voice a roar. "You can't leave!" Emma kicked the door, which cracked open, dawn's light seeping through, weakening her grip. As dawn's light flooded the kitchen, the woman's form dissolved, her screams silenced. Emma stumbled outside, the door slamming shut behind her. The dough and knife were gone, but flour spelled "stay" on the counter. She sold the farmhouse, learning later of a woman who died in a kitchen fire in 1943, her spirit tied to the oven. Emma still smells burnt bread in her dreams, hearing whispers to return, the recipe book's words etched in her mind. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can stay updated with more amazing stories coming your way. Join our community and never miss an adventure.